Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Today we have got two big games coming up for you in the Championship. We've got Fulham at home before we take on Barnsley away from home as well. So a big episode with some big teams coming up, but I think we should overcome them because so far in this Championship season, we've not lost a single game. It's all looking pretty good still. It's unbelievable. So first of all then, I suppose what we should do is have a quick look at the fixtures since you were last here. Of course, you were last here for the 4-0 win over QPR after we played Forest and Preston off camera before that. After that game, we've played a few cup games and a few league games as well, and it's gone pretty well. We started off with a 3-0 win over Gillingham in the Carabao Cup first round. Routine stuff there, Burton and Phillip getting the goals, happy days. Following that game, we went 2-0 up against Huddersfield Town in the first half with Lee Phillip and Gary Langley scoring both the goals until they brought it back to 2-2 with 2 goals. But then Jason Rendell scored one in the 92nd minute to secure all 3 points for us and keep us at the top of the table, which was really, really good to see. We then, though, followed up with a 0-0 draw to Norwich. Norwich, a very decent side, of course. They've got plenty of money to spend because they spent 2.3 million on Adrian Simpson, who actually played in that game for them, played the whole game. So we lost Simpson, we played against him there, but he didn't do any damage to us, but he did keep us out of their net, I suppose, actually. But a 0-0 draw, I would take that. It kept our unbeaten run going as well, which was really, really good. We then had Sheffield Wednesday away from home after that. We took the lead through Ross Burton and the Stan Porter. They brought them back just before half-time, but we held on in the second half to make sure we took home all 3 points. We then had the Carabao Cup second round against Forest Green Rovers. We rotated the side massively for this one. As you can see, Edmondson started in goal, for example. Lyle Stone started at the back. Michael Thomas was there as well. Shaggery, he was there in the midfield. Like names that we're not going to see all season pretty much, but they played in the cup game there and did the business against Forest Green. So we've got a third round game against Bolton, which is a winnable game because Bolton League 1. That's a very winnable game. So hopefully we might do a bit of progress this year in the Carabao Cup. After that Forest Green game though, we've had 2 0-0 draws in a row, 1 to Millwall and 1 to Crystal Palace. And again, their results I'll take because they are decent sides and we shouldn't be anywhere near the top of the table and things like that. But we've had an unbeaten start to the season so far. Even going back to friendlies, we won all of our friendlies, including a 2-0 win over Tottenham, which was very good. But unbeaten so far in the league and the cups, which is really good. We currently sit 4th in the table. A couple of those draws there mean that we sit 4th as things stand on 16 points. But we do have a game in hand over all the others of the teams. We're currently playing against, we're playing Fulham tonight. That's our game in hand basically. So if we win it, we will go back on top of the table, which is really, really good. If we don't win it, doesn't matter, we're still in the playoffs. Plenty of goals being scored early on in this season as well. Lee Phillip leads the way with 6 goals so far, which is really good. But Ross Burton, the midfielder, not far behind with 4 goals and 1 assist. Jason Rendell's got 3 goals and 2 assists as well, as does Stan Porter. Langley's got 2 goals as well. Theo Tavernier, who's probably been our best player at the back, he's been really, really good so far. He's got 1 goal and 2 assists. If we sort by average rating, Theo actually is the best player on a 7.54 average rating so far. Everyone's playing really, really well. I'm really proud of everyone. It's a good start. The only player lacking perhaps a little bit at the moment is Donker. He's currently played 9 games so far this season, but only got a 6.97 average rating. So perhaps we need to try and encourage him to do a bit better and play a bit better. Maybe in January we look to try and sign a CDM that's going to perform a little bit better than him, but I can't really complain at the moment, can I? We are unbeaten in the league. So going into this Fulham game, the lineup is very, very similar. In fact, it might be the exact same as it was last episode. We've got McClement in goal, as per usual, with Fletcher, Tavernier, Young and Prince as that back line. We've got Donkett in that CDM with Porter and Burton just ahead of him. Rendell on the left, Langley on the right, and Lee Phillip leading the line for us. Lee Masters, by the way, still sits on the bench, and someone said to me, what his attributes look like? How good is he? He's only at the club still because he is the only player who is homegrown at the club. And to have 7 substitutes, we need to have at least 1 homegrown player at the club. So he's always on the bench by matter of that, basically. Here are his attributes. His physicals aren't that bad, to be fair, but his technicals and mentals leave a lot to be desired for. 1-star current ability. He's on a £0 per week contract. I don't really know why he's still here, why he still sticks around, if I'm honest with you. But he is still here. Only good enough for Vanarama National North and South sides. He's getting worse at his dribbling over the past few months and things like that. But the fans like him. The fans like him. He's been here a long time. Actually made an appearance last year in the Championship. I think he came on as a substitute at one point. Substitute appearance. So he has made an appearance in the Championship. And, I mean, if he stays at the club and doesn't move, he will actually make probably Premier League appearances. So what a career for Lee Masters. Anyway, that's that. Let's get on with today's game against Fulham and hopefully pick up another 3 points. All right then, kickoff is upon us here today, and I'm not really ready to lose a game yet. Like, we've had such a great run so far. We're the only team not to have lost a game in the league yet, and I like to keep the hope of an unbeaten season alive, but we will lose games at some point and we will drop down the table at some point. I just don't want it to happen yet because I'm really enjoying it at the moment. Fulham are a decent side, but they currently sit down in 11th in the table right now. They're currently drawing the game, obviously, with us. So they were actually 13th going into the game, or 13th or 14th going into the start of the game. So probably underperforming at the start of the season at the moment. They should be getting back to winning ways at some point. And at the moment, they're actually holding us quite well to only the one shot. And now they've got a highlight which could go in the back of it as McMahon. He gets the ball. I don't know why I struggle with that one so much, but I did. McMahon gets on the ball into Hewitt, back to their number 5, and Hewitt coming forward, trying to find a bit of space, which they've managed to find out wide, but we are pressing them pretty well. Shot from long range, but it doesn't go in the back of the net, which is very good. I said range as well. I was panicking there with what I was going to say. You think talking over games is quite easy, but actually it's difficult. Sometimes one idea comes into my head and something else happens. Something else happens like that. Jason Rendell gets his 4th of the season, opening the scoreline here today, and we go top of the table, which is fantastic. So if Prince's throw in then goes into Lee Phillip. Lee Phillip puts the ball all the way across. Rendell's there at the far post. He nods it in. Past the goalkeeper. Beautiful stuff. As I was saying before, though, it is actually kind of hard to talk. It sounds a bit stupid, but it is hard to talk because I'm trying to watch the game. I'm trying to be entertaining, but I'm also trying to be engaging as well, sort of thing. So sometimes I'll see something on the screen, think something in my head, but then my mouth says something different. So sometimes words come out a bit weird, like whatever I said. That's why sometimes there's some funny jump cuts in, you might not notice them, hopefully you don't, but sometimes there are some funny jump cuts in episodes where I've accidentally said the wrong thing somewhere. I've tried to make it look like I've not said anything wrong, but I do. So these things happen, and even a seasoned veteran like me still makes these kind of, I don't know, errors. It's just natural. It's just natural. It happens in everyday life and language and things like that anyway, but it's not quite obvious in the video. Anyway, 65 minutes into today's game, it's gone pretty quickly and we are still winning 1-0. I want to make some substitutes though, because I think we are playing these players quite a lot. We've not really rotated the team much at all. We're going to bring Watts on for Prince, just because Watts hasn't played too much. I'm impressed with how Prince has played, but Watts needs to get some game time under his belt, so he's going to come on at right back. Adam Pardo's not been given much of a chance either this season, and I think he deserves it. Lee Phillips got an assist today, but not scored a goal, so we're going to take him off. We're going to bring Pardo on up front. Hopefully he'll grab a goal or two. I want to see him do well. We spent, a fair bit of money. Was it 120, 150,000 pounds we spent on him? Hopefully he'll come good and become a top-class quad striker for us. I believe he can be, but he's just not, I suppose he's not been given the chance. He's not been given a consistent run of fixtures, apart from when Philip was injured. And he's nearly set up Rendell there, to be fair, just as Philip did earlier on today's game. Fletcher now back out to Porter. Is there going to be another chance here from this highlight as the ball gets out to Watts, who's in plenty of space to put the ball into Langley, into Pardo. Pardo shoots, Burton shoots. 2 deflections there, take it wide of the post in the end. But that was a really good bit of play from us. The corner comes in, which Rendell is going to be taking. Langley gets his head on it, but it's saved by the goalkeeper. Immediately after that, though, we do have another chance from a free kick as Porter now gets the ball out to Fletcher and Rendell can come forward with it. And Porter puts it in towards Pardo, not the best ball in the world. And actually, it's Fulham now coming forward. Ibrahim on the ball, puts it in. And Kieran Gerrard there, unmarked in the middle, puts it in the far corner, bringing the scores back to 1-1, which is probably the correct scoreline, judging by the stats and things like that. But really, we had no men in the middle there. I mean, do you see Young missed the header there? If he hadn't missed that header, that would have been fine. But Gerrard unmarked. Young was the only defender there, really. And we're not going to win a game like that. We're going to show some passion. We're going to go a bit more attacking. And hopefully that is going to be the way to win today's game. Hopefully Pardo will grab himself a goal right at the end. I'm not going to make any more changes because I don't think it's going to make much of a difference this late on in the game. But with 2 minutes remaining on the clock, looks like we're going to be drawing today against Fulham, which isn't a bad result. I'll take the draw because they're a very good side, Fulham, who are below where they should be in the table right now. It moves us up to second in the table as well after 9 games, which I'm equally happy with. That's a fantastic stat as well. So I'm pretty pleased with things. Not a bad result against a pretty decent Fulham side. I've had a slow start to the season. We've got Barnsley in a couple of days' time, so actually I'll go and rest these players as well because they will need a bit of a rest to be fit enough to play once again. Donker's looking already tired. This early on in the season, it's already saying he needs a rest. That's not the best sign, really, is it? We'll give him a rest for a day and things like that. I was also asked to look at the history of the club as well. Obviously, we're 14 seasons deep now. So people want to have a look at the history of this. So we started here in the 2018-19 season. We came second, but then lost the playoffs. And then since then, we've done pretty well with promotions. Now, if I'm honest with you, I think the most difficult season we have ever had was our third season, which was the Evo Northern Premier League. After our first promotion, I think that was the most difficult season we've had. We finished 15th out of, is it 20 teams or so? So we only just avoided relegation, really, and it was a really, really tough division, that one. Since then, we had 3 successive promotions from the Vanarama North, Vanarama National, and then League 2. Lucky, very lucky with those. But, you know, that was a relatively good period for us before we sort of stagnated a bit in League 1, and we sort of picked the pace up now in the Championship again and things like that. So that's kind of how that's worked out. But this first season, the Evo Northern Premier, I still think was the most difficult one. I just remember it being really tricky and not particularly enjoying it that much. So along the way, we've picked up promotions, but we've only actually won one league title. That was the Vanarama National League North. We finished top of the table there. Most seasons, actually, we've had to go through playoff. I think we came second in League 1 to follow up Burton to go up into the Championship. So we've not actually won a domestic league since the Vanarama National North, which is perhaps a little worrying. Perhaps we need to work on that at some point. Hopefully this season, maybe, if we keep playing like we have been playing. We have, though, won the FA Trophy and the Checker Trade Trophy along the way as well, which were really good stuff. I like to put a lot of emphasis onto cup competition some seasons, because I think cup competitions can really help boost us as a club in terms of reputation, help us sign better players. So I quite like to focus on cups every now and again. Anyway, that was a brief history lesson for you. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know in the comment section, and over the next few episodes we can try and get around to looking at a few things. I don't think I really want to make changes for the Barnsley game, if I'm honest with you. Donker looks tired on 88% condition. Who else can sort of fill in there? Theo can kind of cover there. Maybe we put Theo in that CDM position for now then. Donker will come out and we'll put in... should put Lyle Stone in. Does he like to play there? Let's give him a go at least. Lyle Stone, obviously a player we brought in over summer. A youth player, 2.5-star current ability. We spoke about him last time, 18 years old. Has got really good potential. So it is probably a good idea to get him in there, especially with that potential of Premier League. So it's probably a good idea to actually get him a few games this season, not just off the bench as well, actually starting a few games as well. We'll probably start Watts actually ahead of Prince as well at right back, just see how Watts deals with things as well. So 2 changes to the back line, but other than that, I'm happy. Let's go for it. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today. Barnsley, the home team, so it's a bit more difficult travelling away, but Barnsley are down in 16th in the table. So theoretically a routine win, but at the same time, they are only 6 points behind us 10 games into the season. It is really close, actually. There's no team has really managed to escape or get away and things like that. It is still pretty close out there, so anyone can still beat anyone sort of thing. Barnsley obviously wanted to beat us today, and they come forward after our free kick gets cleared. The cross comes in, and their man's left clear at the far post to poke it past McClement, and Barnsley go 1-0 up, and I think... I can't remember now, but this potentially is the first time we have gone behind in a game this season. I think it might have happened once or twice before. I can't remember now, but from what I remember, this is maybe the first time we've gone 1-0 down. Right, so we need to get to work then. We need to get to work in today's game. We're not really doing much out there. We started off the last game not really doing much either. We didn't have a shot for a long time. We're now starting to come into it with 5 shots, but for a long time we only had 1 shot there until about the 25th minute or so. We've now got a chance to come forward through Stone and Fletcher. Fletcher back to Stone, in towards Stan Porter, who plays it into Theo, who's coming out back to Stone. We're playing it around the back a little bit risky. I don't really like it too much. Let's get the ball a bit further forward before we start passing it around. Philip gets on the end of that ball, into Gary Langley, who's in behind the defence, plays it out to Watts. Watts' cross is blocked. And here come Barnsley once again. We've got 2 men covering their number 10. He doesn't get the ball, which is good. Now Porter can try and launch a counter-attack of our own now as the ball is put straight forward to Philip. Philip takes on the defence, gets around them, shoots. Fantastic save from their goalkeeper there, but that was really good stuff from Philip and some end-to-end football there as Young puts the corner in, cleared by the goalkeeper, but only as far as Stone. Is there going to be another chance? No, there's not. Okay. Young, by the way, I queried why he was taking corners and free kicks, but it turns out his corner and free kick attributes, they actually are the best in the entire squad. He's like 14, 15 free kicks and corners and stuff. They've scored another one, and it's kind of, again, you've got to say that's Watts' fault. Probably for both the goals. He wasn't covering his man for the first one, and there, he's let his man slip past him. And I do think what is at fault here, because the first shot was saved by McClement, and there's not really much more he could do with this one. What should have been there covering his man a little better, maybe man marking. He had two men, I suppose. Maybe we can't blame him too much, but it kind of has been his fault, those two goals. So as half-time comes around, we need to be doing something better than this. We really need to be doing something better than this, because we can't be 2-0 down. We don't want to lose our 100% or our not losing record, at least. I keep saying 100%. It's not a 100% record. It's 100% not losing record, but in terms of actual 100% record, we haven't won every game, so it's not 100%. I mean, to be fair, we have done phenomenally well to go 9 games in a row in the Championship without losing a game. Obviously, we're going to lose one at some point, and if it's going to happen now, it's going to happen now, unfortunately. It's not nice, but it looks like it's going to. I think perhaps something we do actually is we take Stone off. He's played well, but he's looking nervous out there, he says. So we take Stone off, Theo comes back, and we go for a 2-striker system with Philip and Pardo both playing up there. Pardo playing or can Philip play a more supportive role? Philip can play more as a trequartista. We'll put Pardo up there as the advanced forward on attack. Melgoff can come on for Porter as well. They're the 2 changes that we'll make for now. We may make another change later on. I'm not entirely sure, but we're also going to say get creative out there, although maybe we don't need to, because Gary Langley gets on the end of Young's free kick there. I love that as well. And they pick the ball up at the back of the net and run back to the centre circle because they're so ready. What a volley that is as well, by the way. He gets his legs so high there, Langley. Fantastic stuff, though. We are back in today's game. We're going to actually say get creative out there, I think. We'll do that. We've got 20 minutes to go a bit more attacking, grab another goal at least. I'll take a draw at this stage, definitely after being 2-0 down. However, those 20 minutes have quickly turned into 3 minutes, and we haven't been able to grab those goals. We're going to go into very attacking, demand more. The comeback looked like it might have been on. We have been a better side here as well today, I think, as well. As Burton's maybe got one more chance to grab an equaliser right here. If we do it, I'll be very pleased, but the ball goes out of play. And that is that, unfortunately. Barnsley 2, Lincoln United 1. They end our not losing streak. And unfortunately, we don't go top of the table. I think we slip down to 4th, actually. But we're still in the playoffs, so I'm absolutely fine with that. At the same time, though, if you told me right at the start of the season, after 10 games, you'll only have lost 1 of them, I'd have taken that. I'd have bitten your hand off for it. So I'm not disappointed at all. It was going to happen. Unfortunately, it's happened on an episode, but it's had to happen. Right then, next episode, I think we're going to go all the way through October, and we're going to join back for the Birmingham City game and the Bristol City game. We'll go for the 2Bs next episode, which makes sense. Got a nice bit of time in between episodes, so look forward to that one next time. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you've enjoyed it, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.